Well, hey all, welcome to Friday, and welcome to our look at Studio Series 86 Megatron, whom we will be comparing to the Toyworld Hegemon, because when I reviewed 86 Optimus Prime, I said the ideal G1 accompaniment for him is Hegemon. Anybody sitting there as I'm saying that and thinking Romulus is far too small for 86 Optimus. He pairs nicely with Earthrise, but for the 86 I said Hegemon because it's the right size, it's the right aesthetic. And I was wondering how the 86 would actually stack up. So we're going to do that comparison here as well. And I'm going to let you know which one Starscream Wife prefers. But before anything else, before this goes any further, I want to show you the back of the box. And right here, this was the Takara picture that we got. This is the way he should have been colored, with his waist and hips and fusion cannon being just as much of a coal black, if you will, as his fists and hands. And you'll notice down here, this is the color gray. It's not blue. This is the color gray. How did the actual lad inside the box turn out? Well, as I said, 86 Megatron is going to be the focus of the latest GotBot True review. Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share. Of course, subscribe, and while you are at it, light them up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. Helps me out a ton, let you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. Also in the description, and if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. Sorry if I got distracted there, but as I'm sitting here holding the box, Megatron's face is right here, glaring down on me, and I found it distracting, even though I don't usually notice that. But I notice it with Megatron. I've kind of given the intro and said the caveats I got to say. We're going to do the comparison to Optimus, the comparison to Hegemon, and what Starscream Wife thinks. Let's head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. And courtesy of our buddy Daryl, we're taking a look today at the Studio Series Transformers the movie. I mean, I think we've all been calling it Studio Series 86, even though it's not 86 anymore, because that's not a thing anymore. Nevertheless, this is Megatron. And I have really been harping on his leg color being so off, and I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about this. A lot of people have really been waiting for me to take a look at this, and I'm going to compare it to Hegemon, who has been the king of my Megatrons for 11 years. I've been waiting for something to usurp him. Is this going to do it? Well, we'll talk about my thoughts and Starscream Wife's thoughts as we kind of go through. This is the box. Of course, you see Megatron looking very Megatron-y up here. Yes, he's a tank. And before people lose their mind, as was proven with the top 10 question on Monday, the whole notion of him being an out-of-scale pistol was, is, and always will be ludicrous and preposterous. I think the way that they handled it here, in essence, a lot of people are kind of treating this as him being a triple changer, so to speak, I think was the right way to go. Because I even remember back in G1, and I said this in the countdown, going to my friend's house, the only guy I knew who had Megatron, and we transformed Optimus into a truck, and we transformed Megatron into a pistol, and I thought immediately it was idiotic because they can't interact with each other this way. The alt modes cannot work together. So I immediately said to my friend, and we're all of 7, 8? Yeah, change him back. This is stupid. And that's exactly what I said to him. And I stand by it. So if you're a purist and you're automatically going to hate this from the beginning, maybe you should click off, because I'm not going to be the dude for you, because I'm going to give this a fair shake, even though I have my problems with it. On the side over here, this is quintessentially Megatron. On the side over here, it's just the artwork continued around, and on the back, of course, we have a picture of cartoon Megatron. Up top there, the little bio, and we see him down here in his robot mode, in his alt mode, with all of his accessories. You get the idea. Even as his other alt mode being held by just a random hand. It was some speculation that that hand meant something, but I don't think it really does. I think Evan said it doesn't. This leader class guy comes with a gigantic sheet of instructions and a little pistol version of himself. I mean, this is technically Megatron's alt mode. I have Hegemon, and I actually have the Dr. Wu version of Megatron in his alt mode. And other than the transformation for the review, I never, ever, 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 ever transformed Hegemon again because there's no point in transforming him into a pistol. I used to always just basically say, hey, if I want to use him as a pistol, I'm going to use the Dr. Wu version. The Dr. Wu one is has a black scope, black handle, black silencer. Where the light gray is here with the Decepticon logo on it, that's all silver, and it does have the stock. I was planning on showing that with this, but where my collection is sort of in disarray right now, I'm not 100% sure where the Dr. Wu blaster is. It is definitely a little more refined than this, but this is definitely in line and in keeping with the aesthetic and the coloration of the 86 lad. So I see this as transformation number one. I'm gonna, I think this works because it's an in-scale, in-universe version of Megatron. We also have this sword, I guess? Laser sword? I don't remember him using this. A lot of people have said, yeah, he used it. It's what he cut Optimus's side with initially. I don't know. I think it should have been the mace, but whatever. And here we have Megatron in all of his glory. I'm just going to push him to the side ever so slightly here and put him next to, just so we can see it. Here he is next to 86 Optimus. So, very first thing that I do like is that Megatron is slightly taller than Optimus, as he should be. Megatron is supposed to be slightly taller than Optimus. I'm also going to just bring in here for a moment Hegemon. And Hegemon is, let's just see if we can kind of get all three of them in here a little easier. Hegemon is also a little bit taller than Optimus, ever so slightly. I think both of these aesthetics work. Now, I asked Starscream wife, hey, which one do you think pairs best with Optimus? And she immediately picked the 86. She said, this one's fine. She said, the Hegemon is fine. He's a great Megatron. He pairs nicely with Optimus. But the new one absolutely pairs perfectly with Optimus. So that's her vote. I'm kind of torn. I think they both pair well. But I do like the little bit of added height that he has. Even though he's slightly taller than Optimus, it's not quite enough. So we're going to just lay him aside, and we're going to see these two next to one another. If you have thought that Romulus is a great stand-in for the 86 Megatron, I think the Romulus is wonderful. I think it's an excellent offering. It is definitely stylized, and it pairs best with Earthrise Optimus Prime. It is far too small to pair with 86 Optimus. It looks like the wrong aesthetic, and it looks out of scale. Hegemon pairs really well, but again, it's gotta be your call. I will note this now, and I still think it. In hand, the lower legs of the 86 Megatron, admittedly, do not look as blue as I initially thought they were. And I feel like looking at the camera here that the lower legs look extremely blue again. They are not as blue as Siege Springer, which I've been saying all along, but they are definitely not as gray as gray. This is gray. This is not. That bothers me. I'll also note that the black used on his fusion cannon and his pelvis is like that browny-black, rather than the black that's used, for example, on his hands. This guy uses black, and gray on the hands. This guy uses black proper on the hands, but then like the browny black on the fusion cannon and the pelvis. I don't know why they went with that. I love the aesthetic, but the coloration here seems like some odd choices to me. Make of that what you will. So there you go. There's kind of that comparison. But don't worry, we're going to see some more robot mode comparisons kind of as we go along here as well. Let's do scores for Megatron and Megatron proper, and kind of take it from there. we can take this guy out of it for now so we can focus on him. Starting from the feet, working our way up. This light gray with the darker gray in there, yes, that's accurate. The gray here on the legs, that's accurate. As is this gray here, though I wish that this and this was a darker gray or something. Honestly, if you look at the back of the box, it does look to be a darker gray. It looks more like the Takara images that we saw. But whatever color this is, this here should be the same color. The black here on what I guess it's supposed to be like the handle of the pistol. That's accurate. I also like that the treads are folded behind because this still just looks like lines of the handle of the pistol. I know it's treads, but it kind of continues these lines here. I think that was a brilliant way of doing it, honestly. The light gray on the thighs is accurate. I guess we're going to give him this black, even though it's kind of browny, but that's accurate. The red on the sides, accurate. The red on the tummy, the yellow, and the two pieces of blue on the tummy, all accurate. The Decepticon logo, accurate. The face, including his eyebrows and those little triangles under his helmet here, all accurate. This is a separate piece, but it sticks up over his shoulder like the barrel of his pistol nicely. The fusion cannon, it'd be nice if this chunk collapsed in. It doesn't, so it's slightly off. It's like his fusion cannon is extended. It'd be nice if that was in just a little bit. The red on the elbows, accurate. Even the little sections that I think are supposed to be like for the, not the trigger, but like when you're cocking the gun, that's up there. The spaces in the shoulder, that's inaccurate. That shouldn't be there. And again, if you take note on the back of the packaging, those spaces aren't there on his shoulders. So they did change the mold a little bit for sure. The black hands, the gray forearms, all accurate. The red on the sides of the ribs, basically, accurate. The red eyes, accurate. I have to give it a 10, but I don't want to give it a 10. I want to give it an 8 because I really feel like it's more like a 7. So I want to give it like an 8.5, say. Here's the thing. Everything is... The color layout is the way the color layout should be. But the choice of the browny black over proper black and the choice of the bluey gray, if you want to call it that, over an actual just gray, I find jarring. I feel like there's room here to improve the coloration, and we might get another release of this with those colorations done in some subline somewhere or some multi-pack or some other BS like that. I think you should have done it right off the hop. I think choosing the colors that you did, I think, is a disservice to fans. It's a 10 if you're okay with it, but I'm giving it an 8 because I'm not that okay with it. It's Megatron-esque. Let's do the articulation for the guy. We have a head. Get this out of the way a little bit. Head that goes left, right, up, down. For the record, Hegemon's head goes left, right, up, down as well. The arms go all the way around. Hegemon's arms go all the way around. We have an elbow to over 90 degrees. Hegemon has an elbow to 90 degrees. We have a bicep swivel. And Hegemon has a bicep swivel. I'm doing this comparison because I've been a real big fan of Hegemon, so I want to know what's actually better and improved here. We have wrist rotation, and the hands are exactly like Optimus's, where we have a base pin knuckle for 3 of the fingers, and the pointer finger is not only thicker, but it also has a secondary knuckle as well. Hegemon has a wrist swivel, but it's just fists. He doesn't have individually articulated fingers. So the individually articulated pointer finger and the other 3 that can open and close, that is an improvement. Hegemon doesn't really have a waist per se. He kind of has a waist, but really he has more of like a chest rotation. Megatron proper here has a waist. By the way, this and the other alt mode, I'll call it, can also peg in on the back. Very clean, very secure, very nice. I don't know if I T-posed his arms out. Hegemon can't really T-pose out. He can kind of do it, but it's at a very weird angle. It's up really just above the elbow. So I do prefer this ability to T-pose better. Hegemon could do it, this guy does it better. Waist rotation is where I was, all the way around. The hip skirts, they come up out of the way. In fact, they can even kind of go to the back if you really didn't want them on the side for some reason. But the fact that the hip skirt can come up means we get a nice splits out to the side. Hegemon can also do that. Thigh rotation, Hegemon has a thigh rotation. Knee to 90 degrees, Hegemon has a knee to 90 degrees. And a nice ankle tilt, Hegemon also has an ankle tilt. And I guess a little bit forward and back, if you don't mind kind of mushing the sculpt ever so slightly. Kind of the same with Hegemon. So, the advantages here over Hegemon. 11 years in the difference of design, by the way. We have a more free-flowing waist. We have a better ability to T-pose. And we have improved hands. I paid, on a sale, 90 Canadian for Hegemon. It was a great deal. This guy, taxes in, will only be a couple of dollars shy of 90 because in Canada, leader classes are insanely priced. So they're comparable price-wise. Hegemon has more mass, but he's definitely showing his age. If you want a properly scaled version of Megatron to go with 86 Optimus, and you are stuck that it has to turn into a pistol, then you want Toyworld Zeta's Hegemon. If you're okay with this guy having that sword instead of his mace, though a lot of people have used the Centurion Pack mace with this guy. I might see if I can find some sort of mace to use with him, I don't know. If you're cool with this, mimicking his alt mode, and accept that, hey, he is a tank, that, by the way, does scale with Optimus in vehicle mode, and can kind of pretend that this guy's a triple changer, this might be the way to go. Yeah, I mean, the articulation, it's all there. I gotta give the articulation a 10. There's nothing it's missing. So an 8 for the look, because I'm being harsh with the color palette choices used. A 10 overall for the articulation. The guy's a 9. Let's do the actual transformation. And we'll also see that then next to Optimus in vehicle mode. I'm not transforming Hegemon because it would look preposterous. You'd have a human scaled pistol next to a fiction scale tank. It would make no sense. So let's kind of get going. I'm actually going to take this off of his arm. It's just on with a peg. I'm going to take this off his arm. I'm going to take this off for now as well, and I'm even going to take this off the back and straighten that out. Once you straighten that out, it can go in there. And we can even take, at this point, this piece, and it comes out and it angles all the way down. And we will see this later. Okay, now, and I'm not going to lie, this guy took some practice because he is kind of bonkers. If I stumble over anything here, just bear with me. We're going to begin by opening the arms, folding in the hands, and yes, the fist needs to be closed all the way. And we can rotate the arm around here and close all of that back up. Cool. We're going to do the same over here where we open it out, close this in, bring this all the way around and close this back up as well. We're going to come to the back here. Oh no, actually what we're going to do next is we're going to open out the side. You bring this forward. It's kind of weird and it took me a while to figure it out. Because it's tabbed in behind the chest, you kind of bring this forward and then you sort of angle it back. So you bring this forward and then you sort of, you gotta sort of finesse it back. Once it's back, you can bring this all the way back and fold this out. We'll deal with the arm orientation stuff later. I'm not gonna lie to you, the arm orientation and rotating this piece around always eats me up a little bit. Not that it's hard, it's just for whatever reason I tend to struggle with it. Okay, now that we've got all of the arms and stuff sort of back here, for now, we can come here and pick off the chest and fold that down. Just so that's folded down and we got the chest picked off. A lot of people, not a lot of people, that's a lie, but a few people have noted that the little section that's in here that folds out, that I'm going to do right now, is super duper tight. And there's a few people who have stress marks right here. That's a bummer. From what I can see here, Daryl's looks just fine. We're going to take the head and fold the head down and in. And now when we bring this up, this little rectangular slot goes over this peg here. I'm going to tell you now though, it's not going to stay there through the transformation. It'll be fine when we get there in the end, but it's not going to stay there through the entirety of the process. I'm pretty sure as well, I need to fold that like that, and then I think fold these this way. And you see this little peg right here? That will go folded to the inside. So the peg hole, the circular peg hole, is to the outside. I'm pretty sure that's how I'm supposed to do it. But we'll see as we put all of that together in a little bit. Maybe I can put that together now. Can I put that together now? Let's see. Because what we really got to do, actually I got to turn that like that. What we really got to do is make sure that we have this peg in. You know what? I will have to turn this again. And this peg and peg hole. Peg and peg hole. Peg and peg hole. Then turn this so that, okay, the circles are on top and these are here and these circles are on the outside. Okay. And then you bring all of this together, which I guess I can do now, because why not? But it's a series of like hinges and stuff back here that's a little bit nuts. There, we got those in like that. And this is what these kind of back hinges should sort of look like. It's really wild, honestly. It's really pretty darn wild. Okay, whew. Now that we got all that done, and I think that's the hard part, honestly. Now we can take these and bring them to the back. We can straighten these up. We can even take the legs and bring it up. And there's a peg right here that goes up into a peg slot up here. A little rectangular peg that goes into a rectangular peg slot. So we'll do that. We're going to come here and bring this one up. And we're going to do the same thing if we can. Lining them up can be I don't want to say a chore because that's not true. But it can be a little bit of a nuisance. Okay, with that done, now we rotate all of this around. And I keep finding that I want to flip the upper body back, but that's not really what you're doing. In essence, what you're doing is flipping the lower body up, and in the pelvis there's a little rectangular slot right there that goes, when it flips up, over a little rectangular peg way up here between these two circles. So we should be able to, and it's a bit tight to get it all in there, but there you go. Once you get it in there, it's fine. Make sure that they're together. Okay, and now you can probably get a bit of an idea of how this is going. Pardon me. We're going to take this foot and bring it out and bring this whole section up. We're going to take this foot and bring it out and bring that whole section up. We're going to bring the leg out to the side, the leg out to the side. Okay. Now that we got that done, we're going to unpeg from the back of the leg this piece and open the leg all the way out. We're going to come to the back of the leg and untab that piece and open the leg all the way out. Once we have a leg opened out, we can split it right there and bring out that section and then close this in. And back here you can split it, bring out that section, close it back in, and then this comes up between it all and locks it in. What you're going to end up having happen is this peg here will go into this slot on the leg. This, where's the smaller peg to? This smaller peg up here should slot in this slot up right here. And the very front should notch into the very front here. It's a bit of a nuisance, I find, to line everything up. On this side, we do the exact same thing. We open that out, bring that in, close that up. We open this out, bring that out, close that in, and same thing. We bring this all the way up over thusly. And you can see that we have two tank halves that are going to come up here on the side like this. I'm not going to lie to you. There's no way on camera I'm going to get those tabbed in there. So give me a moment. I'm going to line all of that up so that we can finish the transformation. Okay, there we go. We got those in. And you know what? It's not even that it's hard. Because it's not that it's hard. It's that I need to be able to look, I find, from the bottom side and watch as I tab the two tabs in and the one up front. But it's not hard. Then we should be able to come here and fold that in and fold that in underneath, and then this foot comes down and the toe folds up underneath. Same thing here, that should be able to come in right there. This comes down and folds up underneath. I gotta make sure that I actually got these positioned correctly so that all of this can fit in. And they do fit in, like there's notches kind of under all of this that they sort of fit in. You'll know when you have it, right? And you'll know because while there's almost no clearance here, once you have it, it rolls fine. Okay, now that we got that done, woo, we can take this and it goes on the side. We can open these up and that section we open goes down over this combined chunk back here to help hold it together, and then using the little rectangular tabs on the two sides there, they'll go into this slot here and this slot here. So this should come down and then these should tab in pretty easily, honestly. Oh, I gotta turn that around because I had it the wrong way. And then Megatron, as his pistol, actually goes up right there, and boom, in the end here we have Megatron in both of his alt modes. And I love this. I think it worked out really well despite the couple of color changes. It rolls very well. It can rotate all the way around, though I do think the axis is back just a little bit. Angles up and down, I mean, a little bit. I think it accomplishes what it needs to accomplish. The transformation is very involved and sort of bonkers nuts, but it's really cool. I'm going to give it a 10. He was getting a 9 because I think the look is an 8, and that's only because of a couple of poor color choices, not because of any of the molding. In terms of the silhouette and the molding, he's perfect. The articulation, I gave a 10 to, which gave this guy an overall 9. The transformation is also a 10. 9.5, I mean, it's almost, other than a couple of colorations, it's almost a perfect Megatron. And the best part is that he and Optimus scale tremendously well. A lot of times, a transport truck with a flatbed will be used to transport tanks. You know what? This makes sense. Whether you want to have an in-fiction scale version of Megatron that can be used by any other bot with a 5mm port in their hand, or whether you want him to be a tank akin to his Transformers Devastation design, not the same, but certainly akin to it, that scales with Optimus perfectly well, this is the way to go. My only gripe with 86 Megatron is that I wish they had made better color choices. Overall score for this guy, easily a 9.5. And here we are once again, and here he is. And aesthetically, in terms of a silhouette for Megatron, this is perfect. from the top of his head down to his toes. This is a perfect silhouette for Megatron. Hegemon is, I think, the perfect coloration, at least after I kind of added his like eyebrows and the little triangles on the head. I think that's the perfect coloration. I think this is the perfect silhouette. Let's start with the... Okay, so let's start with the back. This little sword thing is fine. I don't know why they went with that. I guess it was because it's 86 in the movie. I think more people would have preferred a mace, even though people have found a workaround for the mace. Cool. I love that they still gave us his pistol alt mode in a form that can actually work with a collection. It can actually work with your scale, with your other Decepticons, where it can be held. It's bar none the best way to do it. I even like that the kind of barrel front of the tank turret, I suppose, is able to come off and go pegged on the back so it looks like the barrel of the pistol. And then you have the treads, and everybody talks about the treads, and everybody says all you see are the treads on the back. I don't even see them as treads, because I look at the side of the leg and I see the lines on it for like the pistol grip, which his legs always were, and I just see this as the pistol grip continuing around the back of the leg. I think it's as smooth as it could be, and other than this, if you don't see it as pistol grip and you see it as treads, there's nothing here that would say that this is a tank. While the tank, I do think, stylistically, is very similar in shape, not the same, but similar in shape to the Devastation Megatron. I feel like that the robot form of Devastation Megatron looks less like G1 Megatron than this, if that makes sense. The fusion cannon, it just looks like it's still extended. Like it looks like this piece should be able to push down a little bit. I don't know why they made it look like the extended cannon. I think there are third-party upgrades that can fix that. That said, if you're going to replace the cannon, and it's going to be a stark black just like his hands, then his pelvis here is really going to stand out. Because here's the thing, the cannon and the pelvis are both like the browny-black type of plastic. I'm assuming it was done because it has quite a sheen to it and it's supposed to, I guess, look like, you know, light shimmering off of it or something, I suppose. But I think most fans, myself included, wanted this and his pelvis to be the same color as his fists. In fact, on the back, the actual pelvis that everything is built around is that kind of black. So weird, odd choice there for sure for coloration. The head is perfect, the chest is perfect, the ribs are perfect, the upper legs are perfect. Then we get down here. I'm sorry, it's still not gray. It's still blue. It's not as blue as Springer like I thought it was, but if you're looking at this and saying, no, that's gray. No, it's not. What's on the front of Hegemon's leg is gray. What's on the front of MP36 is gray. This is not. This is... you know what this feels like to me? This feels like they had this color plastic left over and said, it's a cool gray. Let's use it on Megatron. And somebody said, yeah, okay, let's do that. I think that this and this color was a cost-cutting measure because it's probably cheaper plastic that they had an abundance of, rather than giving fans what they actually should have had, which is the picture on the back of the box. That would have been the perfect coloration. This is close. Perfect silhouette. Excellent transformation. Amazing articulation. A wonderful Megatron. In fact, Starscream wife, when asked which Megatron do you think is the best, the 86 or Hegemon, and she has been a big supporter of Hegemon for 11 years, said, yeah, no, it's time to replace Hegemon. This is the Megatron that should be the leader of the Decepticons, that should be paired with 86 Optimus Prime. Her pick is this guy. I think that if they do a recolor of this and put it out, that is the biggest slap in the face to fans, because you should have done it right the first time. Either don't put this out recolored and slap fans in the face, or do a running change and color ones being produced correctly. This is great, but the lowest score was for the coloration because it's just a little bit off. No mistaking it's Megatron, but I wish it felt as perfect and as quintessential as Optimus Prime. And while it's amazing, it just isn't 10s across the board. Let me know what you think about Megatron. I know I might be a little harsh on his coloration, but build quality, articulation, transformation, all of that is the bee's knees. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you are in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link, check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you are at it, hit the subscribe button, stick around and have some fun with us here on the channel. And don't forget, not for a moment, not for a second, that you, yes, you right there, you do make a difference in the world, and I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way right here inside the videos.